So in today's video, as you can tell by the title and thumbnail, it is a Paragon mod, the last of the military Paragons that I haven't showcased yet. It's the Heli Paragon made by Green Phoenix, so once again, shout out to him for making it. And this one's the Apache Commander. Description: what's stronger than one Apache Prime? Multiple. So if I recall, this is a pretty basic Paragon mod, as in, it doesn't do much other than, well, combine all three into one without doing too much special. Let me just showcase it for you. So we're gonna be in a boss as usual, and then after that, of course, we'll test in a how long can you survive run. Degree 1 and 100. Right now it's degree 1 because I didn't drop any other towers, and I did have the instant degree mod enabled, but that's not used for this one. That being said, we're gonna be using it against the newish Vortex boss, so I guess we'll see how it does. Now, as for the placement of the Paragon, I hope I didn't place it in a terrible spot where it gets stunned by Vortex, because as you see right now, it will get stunned if Vortex gets to the very back. I don't know if there's a spot ever on the map where it won't get stunned, like maybe here on Lotus Island. Actually, what would be big brain is if I made an ice platform and I put the Heli in the top right corner, but of course, it's a little bit too late for that. Now, to see the accurate damage, we have to, of course, get the extra damage dealer, so let me quickly get Brittle, Cripple, and Gluestorm. And yeah, let's just see what this Paragon mod is. Well, first off, looks like there is way more than 3 mini Comanches. They all turn purple. It's hard to tell how many there are right now. I would guess like 9 or so. And if it works like Bottom Path does, then more will spawn in. I think every percentage across the map, it does seem to spawn in like one more. You see, another one is added, or is it actually, or some disappearing and then coming back? Because it doesn't seem like it's more than 9 right now, but it's really hard to tell. Well, either way, I don't expect there to be more than 9, really, because, well, Vortex isn't really going anywhere. Thanks to its knockback, we are doing pretty decently versus it, but remember that it is only tier 3, so, even though this is a degree of 1, actually, hold on. I do believe it's getting stunned, because you can see the effect on the helipad, so maybe for the next tier, I'll probably put it in the top right corner, so that it would never get stunned. Anyways, for Incorporation of Middle Path, I guess they still have the Chinook and Marine abilities. I'm not sure if they're any stronger, though, but I guess we can test by dropping the Marine now. And let's see. Where's the Marine? There's the Marine, and unfortunately, it doesn't look like this mod has done much other than just give the normal Marine, because this seems like normal tier 5 Marine damage. Definitely would have been interesting if, you know, the Marine drops had, well, bonus Paragon damage too. Since it is from a Paragon. Now, as for the Chinook ability, I'm pretty sure it's just basic. Let me just move it. And you will see that, yeah, it's the same cooldown. Nothing too spectacular about it. Again, as I said, pretty basic. And pretty rough Paragon. Again, only, even though it's only degree 1, I feel good Dart Paragon would absolutely annihilate this degree 1 as well, while being cheaper. And yeah, that'll do it for tier 3. Got over halfway. I think way worse than the Ace Paragon for sure. In fact, I'm kind of wondering if, like, maybe the mini Comanches don't get the extra boss damage. Because if you didn't know, I don't think the modders have to do anything special to give Paragons bonus damage. Because in the game already, they're just all coded to give bonus boss damage, a lot of it. Just seems to me that there's a bit of missing damage. But I guess we'll see you for tier 4 and see how that goes. Okay, we're around 100 now, and I'm pretty sure we have no chance with the degree 1 Heli Paragon, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna get back a new Apache Commander, and I'm gonna use the instant degree mod to set it to 100 to see if, well, 100 does anything. So let's go. How much damage does it do, guys? So far, that just seems pretty low to me. I don't know about you, but I expect more than, like, 30,000 DPS for a degree 100. Or maybe it's a decent speed, I don't know. It's actually getting to the first skull decently quickly. I also just realized that we lost the money crate from the, what do you call it? The Heli Paragon. Although it still has a money or banana icon. That's probably from the previous, the Chinook ability that gave us extra money. Or maybe we can watch the pop counter go up. Either way, maybe I spoke a little bit too soon. It actually is giving us money over time. Like 5,000 every little bit. I'm not sure where it's coming from, actually. Is it just dropping crates periodically? Maybe that's why there's no ability. In that case, yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense. And okay, I take my words back. We're actually turning it pretty quickly now. At first it just looked like it wasn't doing a lot, but that's probably because there were very little mini Comanches. I also just realized that the mini Comanches are all the mini Comanches shoot the Apache Prime missiles. See a bunch of Apache Primes and just no Apache lasers. I'm not sure that's coming from the main Apache, or maybe each mini Comanche shoots out both projectiles, and on top of that, the rockets. And alright, I guess all we needed was a degree 100 to take down tier 4 here. I guess this right here, guys, shows you the difference between, or how much stronger your degree 100 is versus degree 1. The fact that it annihilates tier 4 at 100, but at a degree 1, it lets it go halfway and almost kills us. Don't think it's going to be enough to solo tier 5, but guess we'll find out. GD's tier 4. As you saw there, it was a $4,500 crate, so I guess it drops up periodically, along with lives. Not sure how many lives it gives. Well, because if you didn't know, over 1,000 lives, the game reduces the amount of lives you gain, just so that it doesn't go, like, super out of hand. Okay, and now for the tier 5, ladies and gents. I should mention, if I forgot already, that, yes, I know the game is lagging right now. It's probably because of the mod. It normally isn't this bad, but I guess we just have to live with it. I also realized that maybe looking at the pop count is wrong, because you see, it only has 4 million pops, even though the HP of the Vortex had, like, 7 million. For tier 4, so I'm assuming it only counts the main Comanche for the damage, so it seems like maybe the mini Comanches do more of the damage than, like, combined, than the main guy. But anyways, as you can see so far, tier 5 is a different beast. We're not even close to getting the first skull, so I think I'm gonna have to deploy another Paragon. Now, I could deploy an existing Paragon, but the thing is, I do have the whole military pack enabled, so what I am going to do instead is I'm gonna showcase the sniper. Now, you might remember that I already showcased the sniper, quote-unquote, in a Sniper Paragon video. That was the first one I did, actually. However, this is a different version. This is Elite, or rather Green Phoenix's version. Elite Mob Crippler. Fast-firing, smart mob crippling rifles can deal with almost everything. Now, let me upgrade the one on top to it. We'll leave the degree to whatever it turns out to, which is 1. Nice. And we'll, well, let it go to work. Maybe 2 Paragons can do the job. It also seems like it's shooting so fast, or rather, I guess the sprite doesn't rotate. Maybe that's just to save the effort. Anyways, our FPS just seems to be getting worse and worse by the second. So it might be that we're spawning more than mini Comanches as Vortex goes along the track. But we do need help, because as you see, we only got first skull right now. So I'm gonna do probably the best Paragon, existing Paragon, for Vortex, which is the Ninja, because this one can shoot full map range. Bad news again is that it's only going to be degree 1, but that's okay. Any damage helps. Okay, it looks like we're still struggling with the Vortex, so let me unleash one more Paragon. Bolt Paragon, this will be a little bit higher because I had boat farming the entire way. It'd be 38. I did put it away from the track just so that it wouldn't get stunned. That doesn't mean I lose the main hotshot attack, but it's whatever. Now, I probably would go for a Dark Paragon, but for this week's Vortex, only 2 of them are enabled, so you can't actually go for the Dark Paragon. And I guess I could go Boomer Paragon, but come on, I got 4 Paragons already. If this is enough, that would be pretty shocking. So skull number 2 finally. At this rate, though, it's still not looking very good. Well, boys, I can already tell we're not popping at this rate, so I think we're actually going to restart from Tier 5 again. And here's what I'm thinking of instead. I'm gonna do a little bit more, quote-unquote, cheating. So I know pop count isn't very accurate, but I'm gonna turn this Ninja to degree 100 and just see, well, combined with the Heli, how much better it can do. On top of that, I might as well get the degree 100 Navarre 2 as another comparison. And we won't do the Sniper Paragon. We'll just chill with these 3. And you can already tell that, well, we're absolutely shredding skull number 1. Now, this is going to end up stunning the Ninja and the Bolt Paragon, but that's why they're at the front of the track, so that if Vortex does get further away, then they'll still be doing good damage. So if you look at the top left carefully, you can actually see the pop count of all the mini helipads that spawn. These are, I guess, the mini helipads that are invisible. Actually, you can tell by the what do you call it? The snowstorm footprints. Like, the actual sprite's invisible, but you can see the snow platform that's being built. That must mean there is a lot of mini Comanches on the field right now. And that's why they're taking away pop counts from the main Heli pilot. Anyway, seems like the Monkey Buccaneer is going ahead of the Ninja Impala. So that's because I think when you stun the Buccaneer Paragon, the mini planes that fly in the air still attack, interestingly enough. And, well, with the help of the Degree 100 Buccaneer and Ninja Paragon, looks like we're going to beat this with ease. And I guess you don't need an accurate pop count here to tell that Buccaneer is just destroyed. Look at that, 20 million pops out of 33, plus the AI balloons. Which means that this did out-DPS the Heli Paragon by a lot. And now for a more controlled test over on Logs Hard. We're going to test again the Degree 1 Heli, and then the Degree 100 after. And then how? Maybe we can even take an in-depth look at, well, how exactly this Paragon works. So I assume we gain more Helis as the balloons go further. There's 3 now. Although I'm pretty sure during the boss game I saw... Wait, let me drop Marine. I saw more than 3, yeah. I think it's just periodically adding. It's not really a amount of length in the track to spawn. It seems like it's time-based. The more mini Helis we spawn, the better. I wonder what the max amount is. Again, it looked like about 9 to me for the Degree 1. I'm not sure if it was more for Degree 100. But it definitely did a lot more damage, that's all I can say. And here is round 140. It looks like we can beat an FBAD pretty easily. And it doesn't seem like we're getting any more mini Helis at this point, so... it seems like that number is indeed about 9 of them. Honestly, don't know if there's even a point of using the Marine, because it just seems to be the normal Marine. So I'm just gonna be a bit more lazy here and let it ride. Ride these guys out. So based on how this is looking, it does seem like fortified DTs are the bane of the Heli Commander, and this round might be the round that we actually lose to. Okay. Well, the thing with the Heli is that you can do some micro. Instead of leaving on pursuit, I could maybe have them all on follow mouse. Now, there's a problem. When I restart last round, it seems like all the mini Helis go away, but hopefully they all come back in time for the wave where I died on. So what I'm gonna do is just leave it in the center, really. And here is the fortified DT wave. How are we doing? Now, I don't have sound enabled for this one, at least on your guy's side. On my side, I can hear it, and I actually hear some clanking. So I think that the Comanche, this Paragon, at least I think the laser blades, they don't pop DDTs. This is not like full popping, lead popping of everything. So that actually explains why we're struggling a decent amount. I would assume the rockets don't pop DDTs either, so that's interesting. Because if that's the case, I'm pretty sure there's 147 is going to be the end then. I'm going to try one last time here. Just see if a bit of micro will do the trick. And actually, it does do the trick, okay. Well, I think the next fortified DT round that has as many as that one, probably be the end for Degree 1. Like 149 here. Oh, okay, this is looking absolutely ridiculous. That's like twice the amount of DTs as 147. And just another try here. Yeah, you see how many DTs there are? It's not looking too close. So we're going to call it there, 149. And we're going to pick it off from round 170 because we already know it's going to shred the rounds 20 rounds before that. Hell, even with 3 mini Comanches, it was still able to break down those fortified DT rush. Okay, so while I was busy watching the Heli Paragon shred, I noticed that the Spawn Marine actually does do a little bit more damage. Because this is the Marine from the normal Chinook. This is the Marine from the Heli Paragon. As you can see, it already out-DPS'd it despite being in a really bad spot. So maybe there is a merit to dropping it. Now, once again, DTs still are going to be the bane of Degree 100 because it still doesn't have full DT popping. But it seems to do okay against 190 so far. I do believe also that either these things last longer or the cooldown is shorter, because in a normal Marine, you cannot have more than 1.2 at a time. But this one seems to have full uptime for 2 of them, and a bit more. And now for round 200, can we beat it? Well, I'd say we got a pretty good chance, considering these things do pretty well against multi-class balloons. And in fact, it looks like we'll clear it pretty quickly. I'm just gonna do a bit of micro myself, just to have, you know, more damage on the fortified instead of the ZMGs. It seems like when I change targeting, only the new mini Comanches that spawn focus the targeting. All the other ones stay as what it originally came in as. That is, of course, unless you manually change them, because as you see, again, there is an invisible pad where you can change the targeting, look at their pop count. Anyways, with all of them back on pursuit, we will still be able to beat the second one, right? Yep. So now that I've had a closer look at the Degree 100 Heli Paragon, it definitely does look like there's more of the mini Comanches. More than, it looks like about a dozen or so. So not a whole lot more than Degree 1, but enough to make a, well, decent difference so far. Now, 204 might just be the end here. This F-Bat is getting really far. And we don't have enough damage to beat the fortified DCs underneath. This was actually like my 5th or so attempt at trying to beat 204, but it seems like we fall just short every time. So I'm gonna call it there. Alright, today we're gonna see what an Alchemist Paragon looks like in the form of this mod here. So this mod is called Hyper Science. Description. After years of experiments, trials and errors, and decades of monkey knowledge, the perfect potions are now upon us. So of course, first off, shouts out to Johnny Boy for turning this Alchemist Paragon to life, as well as Tis is Real Now for the portrait and icon. Now to afford that Paragon, we're gonna need a small loan of $1.2 million, so that's why we're doing a decent amount of farming here on this boss. The goal hopefully is to farm hard enough to be able to afford the Wizard Paragon, or sorry, the Alchemist Paragon by tier 3. It is also easy prices, so it's technically a little bit under 1.2 million, so should definitely be affordable given how much I have currently on round 56. Now, I'm probably not the only one that's pretty excited to see what the Alchemist Paragon has in store, because, well, a lot of people have this idea that the Alchemist Paragon can buff other Paragons, so we'll see if that's true for this one. But even if not, having a support Paragon would be pretty interesting, rather than, you know, the ones that currently we have that just do straight damage. Now for tier 2 here, don't mind if I just do the usual, I think Mad into probably Attack Zone for after we get rid of the primary layer. Yeah, we literally make 6k, over 6k around at this point, so we pretty much got the Mad instantly, nice. Let's go for Attack Zone now, so I'm just gonna throw a Brittle on top of this. It should be pretty much GG easy for tier 2. Actually, I lied, why are those Rock Balloons still going? Fine, let me just drop an Avatar Wrath there. But I guess while we're chilling at tier 2 here, can I take a moment to talk about just how rough getting a high degree on the Alchemist would be? Because you can't really use it for damage unless you want to go with Total Transformation, which actually does a pretty decent amount of damage if you like transform Druids and all that. And that's really only one path, because you're obviously not going to use BMA to lose you money to the Nobloons, right? And then Perm Brew obviously doesn't give you any damage. And the worst thing too is that Let's Gold doesn't even add to your money count, so I don't even think that, you know, again, adds to your degree. So all in all, pretty unfortunate news. Also, I have no idea why Attack Zone isn't doing any damage to this. Doesn't the Esprit give, you know, lead popping? This is a little bit strange, isn't it? Oh well, we already are about to get rid of the military layer, so Mad should be back up and working again. Cool. Alright, there goes our tier 2 Dread Balloon pretty easily. We'll sell Mad to, well, I can't really farm anymore, but I guess I could keep doing overclocks. But we're actually really close already to the 1 million required. So I think I can probably take it chill now in terms of the farming game. You know, the Alchemist Paragon isn't quite as expensive as some other Paragons in this Paragon pack, that's for sure. But I guess I'll try to squeeze in some pops, I guess. So here, let's get a Total Transformation. Yeah, let's just say the Steel Monkey Paragon prepared us pretty well for this moment, so I guess we'll just slowly start to fill in the cracks with the Alchemist that I need to get to maximize the degree. So that's 100 tiers and 250k worth of tier 4s. That's gonna take a while. How much does a Transforming Tonic cost? About, like, close to 10k. Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. I can probably fit 25 of these in the cracks. There's a good amount of open space left. Yeah, I went a little bit overkill in the farming, alright. We got all the Alchemists and the money for it with, like, 5 rounds to spare. But I guess I could use the money for, like, other Paragons. Because, again, I don't expect that the Alchemist Paragon will be strong enough to solo, like, all 5. Oh, well, I can't, obviously, because there's a magic immunity. So, in a way, that's perfect for Alchemist, because that forces us to use, well, multiple towers, since you usually do want to get something else. Let's clear the middle to start. I'll get this BMA to return the Alch Paragon. And I guess let's do it. Actually, hang on, before that, I have so much money, I can just get level 20 draw, though. I should have done this earlier, by the way, but let's squeeze out 2 more totems, and let's go now. Hyper Science activated, degree 34. So first things first, let's clear the map, or at least the middle section, because I do want to see everything that's got going on for it, and let's drop, like, 5 Dark Monkeys, or sorry, Druids. Maybe more, but we'll see, like, how many the ability transforms, because as you see, this is the ability. I don't know yet how many monkeys it transforms, or if you need only tier 3 or tier 4 works, but let's just go. And as you can see, this thing throws potions. Is that right? It's actually kind of hard to tell. Let me just get rid of the monkey Alps queue. Okay, but where's the Alp buff? Am I seeing it? There should be a perm. Oh yeah, there is. Okay, what's... Well, you can see that this flavor traits has an absolutely massive range, so it is throwing buffs on the towers, just very slowly, because there's a lot of towers around this thing. I guess since it's tier 3, low-key, just the Alka Paragon alone can probably take it down, but let's use the ability, alright? And it crashed, I think. Yeah, not sure what was causing that. Let's try again, though. I got rid of, like, the other towers that aren't the Druids. I'll get rid of the Ultra Boost, too. Screw it. Again, please don't crash. Please don't crash. It is not crashing. Good, good, good. So, yeah, it was probably one of the other towers. Maybe it was a submarine. It can transform. Also, we hit the magic immunity, so let's get Tax Zone real quick, alright? For the Rock Bloom tier. Let's see if the Alp buff, the Perm Brew buff, is good enough to deal with it alone. Come on. Take a little Rock Bloom damage, by the way. Or rather, the Tax Zone damage. It's pretty good, but I need more. Hang on. Let's get Radium here. Rock Bloom's got hands, guys. Rock Bloom's got hands. I probably should just do... You know what? Let's just do a Dark Paragon. As I said, I did want to see if the buff works on it. So now it's probably a good time to quickly get it. And try to clean up, yeah, everything over here. I don't know, I have my doubts that it'll buff. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna buff it right now. I kind of suspected that because maybe the capabilities aren't there right now that, you know, Paragons can buff other Paragons. Like, it's probably hard-coded that you can't buff it. So, I don't know if there's a mod or if mod is capable of that. But anyways, GG easy. Let's just get rid of the other towers now. And now without the boss, you can kind of see more of what this Alk Boy does. He throws, well, potions for damage. Also, tons of BMAs. Yeah, like, BMAs constantly. Like, they turn a Revelance avoid the main potion even damages it. And I assume those throw in some rubber to gold potions too. Hard to tell, but I think that's normally what you'd expect from a Paragon. Now, I also want to test the damage that this buff gives. So, let's try Sniper and see how much extra damage it gets. 7. So, that's a +5, I think. Alright, it's kind of like a free Remote buff to, you know, all your towers. Can it Permabrew, or can it Alchemists? Now, it looks like it's coded as, like, the same as Alp buff, which, yeah, I guess if it didn't work on Paragons, makes sense it wouldn't work on the Alchemist itself. Good to know. Alright, now is also a good time to test. I did see it turned the tier 4 towers into mini monsters. Let's see how many... Okay, it transforms 10, at least. Damage is pretty nutty, though, not gonna lie. Also, is it just me, or is this cooldown incredibly slow? I feel like I last activated like 5 rounds ago, and we still don't have it up. I would assume this doesn't work. Just testing. Nope. So, seeing as this thing cannot buff other Paragons, I feel like I should just, not get Paragons. We'll just try to use the Perm Brew buff on the Paragon here to damage the magic layer. So, first things first, let's use the ability to see if it can affect 20. Yeah. Even 20 of them. Also, look at that damage. Okay, I see why that cooldown's so long now. Sheesh. Also, whoa, we just cheesed it. Right, because these things are, military, technically. For some reason, I was expecting that it wouldn't work because all of them would turn magic, but it's not the case. We just literally plowed through Tier 4 Dreadbloom, just like that. Kind of leads me to believe that Tier 5 will also be shred just as easily. Also, once you're outbuffing other towers then, I'm just gonna keep trying. Yeah, it feels like it outbuffs literally every tower on screen. We have up to like 30 towers now. Not gonna lie, it would be pretty broken if there was no cap. I'm gonna do this just one time though. I would expect there to be just a giant leg spike the moment I use this, if it affects everything, so let's do it. Activate. And they actually have global range too. Yeah, I don't think Tier 5 Dreadbloom has a shot anymore, guys. Holy. Let me just see how much percent of the uptime this is compared to the total cooldown. It's about... That's like 15%. Well, I guess let's just make up the fact that you can't buff other Paragons. Also, I forgot if I tested this yet, but let's get a Tier 5 too to see if it will also transform T5s. So you guys ready to see Dreadbloom Destruction? Well, here we go. This is only degree 34 at that too. Looks like it does not transform the Tier 5. Only up to Tier 4. After we get Primary through, it should actually be faster, because I have so many Dart Monkeys. Let's take a look at the DPS of each of them. Holy crap. That's 2,000. Yeah, we're gonna kill Elite Dreadbloom Tier 5. With one ability. Well, yeah, nobody said this was balanced, so, yeah. GG, I guess. New rank boss meta just dropped. Now, because we can't continue boss games, even modded ones, we're gonna jump to a real game now. Picking back where we left off with the degree 34, just to see, like, how far it can survive beating random rounds here. Unsurprisingly, Mr. Paragon can basically beat everything that's not a bad. DTs, I guess, is a little bit of a struggle, because of the very fast speed. Also, because of the rapid BMA potion, this thing is going to steal, like, all the pops late game. Assuming this works the same way as, like, the potential real Alchemist Paragon when it comes out. Let's just take a look at the DPS, though. Yeah, single target bad's not very good. Not very good for, like, a Paragon, I mean, but it's actually going to be enough to, I think, pop it. Or if not pop it, then pretty close. We'll use, a Total Transformation cleanup, and there we go. Easy. Easy cleanup. But yeah, about the pop ceiling, just thought I'd mention that, because that isn't necessarily an indicator of how OP the tower is late game, because I remember when I did some late game runs not too long ago, where, you know, BMA outclassed or outpopped other Paragons. Everyone's like, wow, BMA is OP, but if it doesn't do any damage to bads, then it's really just a support option. And the pop count, you know, is a bit misrepresentative, because, like, look here, this thing is going to die to DDTs. Well, in that case, I guess it's time to upgrade it to degree 100 just by using a mod here. The thing is, though, I don't know if it's gonna be any more reliable, because the problem is the potion speed. It has the same problem as BMA, where DTs are too fast that it ends up, you know, whiffing. Because by the time the potion lands, it would have already, you know, the DTs would have already left spies. See, yep. Same problem arises. Anyways, I assume with faster, again, higher degrees, we have faster cooldowns and things. Yep, that's a little bit less downtime on our ability there, but I'm pretty sure, again, that we will die to this DDT here. Or if not that, then definitely that Ceram. Okay, that was really close. I think what's happening is that the damage potion is hitting it before the BMA has a chance to one-shot, which actually kind of ruins things. Yeah, I'm dead. I'm dead again. Alright, one last continue. I just had a Bloom Crush so that we don't die to DTs. We're probably dead to these bats at this point, yeah? Yeah, okay. Actually, I want to do one more test here. Because, as you saw, that the ability does, like, insane amounts of damage, we kind of have to at least see what would happen, or how far we would make it if we filled up, I would say, most of the map. Like, how about that? And we'll give a test on round 200 here. Given that this thing probably doesn't have 40 million HP like Dread Balloon, it should be an instant kill, yeah. I knew 200 was too easy for it. Alright, quickly, let's jump to 300. Yep, 300 still good. And unsurprisingly, we're dead again because of the lack of cooldown. Luckily, continues to reset ability, so that's good. 500. How much balance would you like? Yes. I do like my Alchemist Paragon with a healthy dose of 100k DPS on each individual Dart Monkey. Multiply that by probably 100, if not more, if I were to fill up every inch of the space. And one more 500 monkey sacrifice later. This will be the final sacrifice. Final test, around 1,000. Let's see if we can truly break the game here. And damn, it looks like round 1,000's too much. Who would have thunk it? I'm not sure what the math is on these F-bats, but they have to have, like, more HP than tier 5 elites at this point. Yeah, that's a rip. Alright, well, that was the Alchemist Paragon, folks. Hope you enjoyed. I'm not quite sure if the real Alchemist Paragon will actually survive 500 plus rounds, but this was a good look into seeing all the fun things it can do, because this does check out all the boxes of a 5/5 Alchemist, that's for sure. But that's it for now. So in today's Paragon mod, we have the Balloon Incineration and Awe. Retail price, $550,000. So yes, this is the Mortar Monkey Paragon, and the way we're going to test this out is not the same as how I used to do it, because I felt like that was getting boring, so I decided to jump into a boss mode. I'm going to try to see how this Paragon does against the Elite Lich. Now, of course, we can't start with it, because it's a whopping $500,000. I'm going to try to see if we can get there by tier 3, because generally, people have been optimizing farming to the point where they're able to afford a makeshift Paragon by tier 3. And now that's like for the Dart Monkey, which is way cheaper, like 370,000, but I still think we farm hard enough, we can get this by tier 3, so see you guys in a bit. Okay, so fast forward to tier 1. How I'm going to tackle this is the usual. I think attack zone right in this awesome bend, plus some Brutament, plus Peach rating. Should be enough to take Lich down, but since it's not in range yet, I'll just milk money out of these farms first. And then once it's closer, we'll sell everything. And close enough, so sell. Let's sell 5 of them, I think. that should be enough money to work with. So this, and yeah, that's all. And let's build back farms. You guys know the strategy, if you've seen my boss videos already. Just want to build a 2-farm Miniopolis, and then work on a bigger Opolis from there. And see, very easy kill. Kill this Lich before it even turns the first bend. So, let's quickly sell this for you, and go from there. And we got money for Monkeyopolis right about now. Now, one grave mistake I made was not putting Monkey Town in range of Quincy. That means you're going to lose money from the balloon pops. So how I'm going to fix that is I'm just going to get a quick airburst sub, maybe a 203, 204, and have that deal pop so I can squeeze money out of that. And in case it wasn't obvious, the tower we're going to go for tier 2 is Mad. Don't have the money yet, but since it's not ranked, we can take your time. There's Mad finally. Biggest problem is still going to be balloon damage, but I probably just drop Mortar for that. Since I'm going for the Mortar Paragon, why don't we just get some pops along the way? So what's the best balloon damager? I guess a big one works for now. Yeah, just leave it here, and you never have to worry about balloons ever again. And let's get back to farming while we slowly kill Lich here. And with that, tier 2 Lich is taken down. It took quite a lot for this one, but it's alright. Now what we do is we sell the this guy, and we build as many to build a bigger Opolis. So that we're gonna sell this one later, and then we're gonna have some insane efficiency with a tower making upwards of 40k per round, ideally. Alright, and round 71, I think it's about time. So I believe this is a 11-farm Monkeyopolis. Can I make it 12 with this extra range here? Guys, I think my Monkeyopolis is bugged. It's only 25k. That means only 5 farms in range, but as you can see, there's like 12 farms in range, but I'll just buy it anyways. Wait, no, there's 13 in range. Let's just get it now while we can. That's a massive discount right there. Try to think about it that way. And yeah, this thing's making $51,000 per round. Just multiply the amount the crate gives by 10 for the total amount per round. So just 10 rounds of that, and we already have the money for a Mortar Paragon. So these are all our tier 5 mortars. As you see, $550,000, and we got 5 rounds to make that money. Let's see if we can make it without, selling any farms. Although if I do have to sell any farms, these ones on the right will have to go first. And I think we are a little bit short, but it's okay, guys. It's okay. The thing is, because again, it's not ranked, we can just wait like 1 round or so to get the money for it. Yeah, we're about 80,000 bucks short, but that's alright. 1 round of income, and we're pretty much there. So just hold your horses. Again, if you don't have horses, find something near ya to hold. Because I don't know what the power of this has. Let's read the description. Did you know that if you combine huge damage, fast firing, and deadly flames, you get a super powerful monkey? Wow. I didn't know that. I thought it was going to be a weak monkey. So what degree is it? Oh crap, it's 1. I forgot. I forgot to put tier 4s on top of it, but it's okay. We will probably upgrade the Paragon for tier 4 and 5, because I don't think this tier 1 or degree 1 is going to do jack diddly to Lich here. Because you gotta remember, I know this is a mod, but the Mortar isn't really good mob damage anyways, aside from the Balloon Incineration. Regardless, do we have enough to beat it, you think? It's looking pretty slow. Wait, we're not even killing the Lich Soul. This is not good. Well, let's add the damage enablers like Brittle, Cripple Moab, and Gluestorm, and see if that makes it go any faster. The thing is, it doesn't seem like it's gonna help very much because it looks like this thing, like doesn't shoot very fast. It does powerful amounts of damage per blast, but that's not good when you add damage, additive damage multipliers. Because like that 100 damage per shot or 1,000 damage ends up being like a 2% increase. But either way, better to have it than not. Yeah, let's see. I think I should probably get the tier 5 mortars back just to add pops. Just to add pops ahead of time, because I'm gonna need a much higher degree if you want any chance against tier 4, tier 5 Bloonarius. Or Lich, I mean. Hell, maybe even the Bloonsin can help out a bit, come on. Let's get it going. Oh, I also should untech bot my, my farm here, because if Lich gets close enough, it'll start healing. So let me get rid of it. Unlink. Take the money loss. I don't know about you guys, but this is looking pretty bad. That's also a lot of wall fire that this thing is dropping, but it's likely not a whole lot of damage. So while we're taking our sweet time killing this Lich here, which we might not even be able to do, well, does this thing look like a pretty accurate representation of a Paragon? I'd say, honestly, given how mortars work, I mean, there's not really much you can do. I guess aside from adding an ability, I definitely would have loved some sort of stun on top of it. But really, Mortar's identity is just massive damage. And a little massive mob damage with bottom path. So, I think it's about... I don't think there's really much else you can really add on this guy. Either way, it looks like we're going to be able to beat it. We got the last skull down. And now, I should probably sell this Paragon after this one, just to get every pop funneled onto the other mortars. So let me end this off. Very nice, very nice. And let's get working on a better degree. Now, the most expensive tier 4 mortar is 024. So we are just going to spam those. That's the least amount of tier 4s I need to drop for a... well, the highest degree I can get on the Paragon. Now, notice I don't have the instant degree enabled. That's because I kind of want to play fairly. So, we're not going to cheat all the way to 300. As much as I'd like to see 300 right now, I think it'd be more fun to, well, play it while balanced. Alrighty, we should have close to 2 million pops on every mortar combined here, because we did get some extra damage with, against Lich here. So, what degree is it? I'm gonna guess 30. And I think I saw 30. 36. Okay. Now let's see the damage difference. Well, it's gonna be less percentage-wise because this thing has way more HP. But regardless, let's take a look and see how viable this mortar guy is against the boss. Well, so far, not looking very good. I think we'll need some help, folks. I think we'll need the help of another Paragon, perhaps. Yeah, how about a real Paragon? Just to show you what changes, or how much better it is compared to the mortar. Let's unleash it. 21, alright. And how is our damage looking? I think already a lot better. It's hard to really tell. Actually, no, it's easy to tell here. Couple tens of thousands per second. This one's also a couple tens of thousands. No, it's only like 10,000 per second. It's a lot slower. It's a lot slower than the Dark Monkey, while being high degree. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering, these modded Paragons still have the damage buffs that all Paragons naturally have to bosses. I believe that's coded into every Paragon. Like, it's like a formula. Every Paragon uses the same formula in terms of how much extra damage it does against the boss. The only difference is that starting number, which would, well, reflect how much new damage it does to the boss. At least that's how I believe it works. Anyways, it does look like with the help of this Dark Paragon, we will end up beating Lich here. Yeah, it's already passed up the mortar in pops. Unlucky. Oh yeah, I forgot. Let's move the Brittle up here too. Just for a little bit faster damage going in. And yeah, based on the way it's looking, I will have to drop even more towers for tier 5 here. I guess I should just drop the rest guys, like Boomerang, Boat. In case you're wondering, for this week, Ninja is banned. And yes, you did hear that right. This is the boss from many, many weeks ago. I'm just, you know, I got a nice backlog of stuff. That's the reason why you're seeing this so ahead in time. Also, I don't think we're respawning Lich because this stupid sniper is keeping that chained ZMG, in case you can't see the bottom left corner. It's just stuck. So let me unstick it by putting it on first. And then we can damage Lich again. There we go. And back to strong. And tier 4 Lich is done. Luckily, with the money I already accrued from these towers, look at that, 2 million monkey, or money, on the monkey office already. Almost 1 million on the Mana Central. I can pretty much afford the other Paragons, and we'll be saved. Clearly, I was too bold in expecting the Mortar Paragon to annihilate bosses. Again, because so much of the Mortar is good against main balloons, you can see its true power here. It just absolutely annihilates, shreds the normal rounds that don't have a lot of HP, but may be very dense. In which case, you know, the biggest one, and all that wall fire. All that wall fire on the bottom corner will add up to lots of damage, as you know. But nonetheless, I want to try something different with Paragon mods. If you guys have any ideas, like what I could possibly do with this, aside from other bosses or, you know, how long can you survive tests, then let me know. Because I'm always looking forward, or I'm trying to look for things to spice it up. Because sometimes I get bored doing the same thing over and over again too. Even if it may be like a new concept, new upgrades that are modded in. Sometimes some variety is nice in terms of how I want to play it out. Now these are likely going to be degree 1 Paragons, but that doesn't really matter to me. Let's just get it and move on. Without Ninja Paragon, it might be pretty rough, but let's see how it will do with the Mortar Paragon as a replacement for Ninja. So there it is, degree 1 Boomerang, degree 21 Dart Monkey, and let's just compare and see the damage. Again, it's definitely going to change. The Mortar will always be stuck at, like 20,000, it looks like, per second, I'd say. Yeah, 20,000 per second. It's okay. But sometimes you expect a little bit more from a Paragon. Also, what is healing us? Oh, right, I have my tech bot enabled. Hold on. Let's disable that. I was wondering why Lich was healing. We should be fine now. We lost a lot of, you know, damage. The thing just healed for like 2 million HP, but we should be fine. We're yet to even reach the chokehold territory, where this Buccaneer Paragon will absolutely go to town. Go to town on Lich. Also, hope you guys are enjoying the presentation going on screen right now. You can probably count the amount of pixels on the screen. Also, I did not target my Mortar. Let's get it back up there. Looks like we're a little bit behind pace, so this is not good. But again, I still have yet to get a lot of damage in the chokehold. So this Buccaneer Paragon should be doing pretty good, although with degree 1, yeah, perhaps I should have farmed a little bit higher degree, because we're not beating this. I think it's time to drop emergency stuff. How about a Mad? How about an Avatar Wrath? And we'll get more if we need to, like Attack Zone and all that. It's all hands on deck for this last Lich here. See, here's the halfway mark, and you see it's already past halfway. The halfway mark is, like, in the middle of the second loop. And we're approaching loop 3. So, yeah, see why I'm a little concerned? I'm just gonna spam the most expensive stuff, so, like, Dark Champions. How's that looking for us? We got 2 more insights to go through. I think there's a chance we can beat this still. Here comes the Lich Soul. DDTs are no problem. Soul's no problem. Let me work on moving my, Brittle, too, for this very last stretch. Again, all hands on deck. What else could I build? A Mobile Limb? Sure, why not? We just need everything we can possibly, get. We got $1 million, so I shouldn't be afraid to spend money here. Like, just align the backside with Dark Knights. I should be fine for, like, anything, except for the Lich Soul. The thing is, Legend Knight does not save you from the Lich Soul, so we gotta beat this. We gotta pop this thing, boys. Pop, pop, pop. Oh my god, that was close. I think we have enough DPS to kill this before it exits. It was really just that super fast Lich Soul that I was really scared about. But at last, we got it before it exited. By the skin of our teeth. And I think that is it. Elite Lich is finally beaten. Overall pops, about 12 million on the Mortar Monkey. 27 million on the Dark Monkey, holy crap. 10 million the Buccaneer. Again, that's not to show that this Mortar Paragon is not great. It's just not meant for bosses. Which I guess is a concern, because the main point of Paragons is for bosses anyways. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed that boss plus modded showcase. So today's Paragon mod is an interesting one, because it's a mod of a modded tower, the Card Monkey. That's right, we're going 2 layers deep here. I made a video showcasing the Card Monkey itself a few months ago, so check out that video if you missed it. But basically now we're just going to check out the 5.5.5 version, which has been updated. Again, shout out to Doom Bubbles for creating it. So let's just go over to here, and you'll see that it comes with God, King of Spades. Description: sometimes the hand of fate must be forced. Just as a quick summary, in case you forget how the Card Monkey works, top half basically just does a crap ton of damage with 5 different cards in one shot. Ace of Spades middle path does a crap ton of damage to mob class balloons, even more so with the ability. And bottom path Twisted Fate can explode, stun balloons, and make balloons give extra money. So that's what we're working with here. Now, let's combine all of them to see how strong it is and what it does. So, as usual, starting with degree 1, and then going all the way to degree 100. Let's go. Let's take a look at what this Card Monkey Paragon has for us. How does it combine all 3 paths? Well, first off, I can see explosions. That is the bottom path incorporation. I don't know if they're applying the rubber to gold, not that it would even matter, because, well, if you're already at the point where you can afford the Paragon, you likely don't need that extra bit of money from balloons. But as you can see here, it does pretty well against 119. Not bad. Otherwise, I think this tower looks pretty standard, at least in terms of the combination of a Card Monkey. I think it is shooting like 5 projectiles at once, yep. I assume all 5 projectiles have like extra mob damage, which is part of the middle path. So yeah, it was packing a pretty big punch up until DDTs here. I wonder why it's struggling against DDTs. I'm not sure what could explain it. I really wish it would be able to stun mob class balloons though, because bottom path, the Twisted Fate upgrade, it stunned balloons but not Moabs, but I mean, when you're at a Paragon, does it even stun SRAMs? I can't even see, because I think it just one-shots it before it even has a chance to, well, stun it. But it would be really nice if it had a little bit of stunning effect, so that it would be more than just, I guess, straight damage right now. It's actually not looking very good. If it dies before 138, which it looks like it does, I also forgot to set the lives to 200, so we pretty much lost here, and it's not even close. Strange. I wonder if, like, they can't pop black balloons or something like that. Is that the reason why it's doing less damage? Well, at least the explosions, I think. I don't know. It seems to do very well against ZMGs. Let me just keep going on here. I know we already died, but let's just say that, you know, 128 was death, and just want to test out and see. Like, if I put on last, or put on strong, see how much damage it packs? Why can't I do the same to DTs? I'm wondering. And we can't give a MIP to it, because, well, you know, can't inherit buffs. So I don't think there's any way we could, if it does, I mean, if it does have some immunity to DTs, then we can't really change that. Well, I guess the only way to figure this out is with a sandbox test. So let's kill the run here. 128 was unfortunately a very early death for this guy. Alright, round 117 has a lot of DTs, so maybe this is a good round to see exactly what it does. I'm looking at the damage count, but it's really hard to tell if it doesn't do any damage to DTs, which seems like I don't think there is an immunity. Maybe the explosion, but again, it's hard to test without real sandbox mode, because it seems like the sharp shots itself coming from the cards, they definitely do work on DTs. I just can't tell if the explosion does, and the explosion might be doing a lot of the damage, which is why it's doing worse against DTs. Or maybe it's just because DTs are fast and this guy, he can't seek. I guess that's a problem. On this map, like, it's just gonna shoot straight lines, and it's not gonna get those nice straightaways that would maximize damage. At least that's my guess. So while we have this run set up, let's just get up the degree 100 Card Monkey. See how that does compared to degree 1. I would assume not very far, but let's hope for the best. Degree 100. There we go. I should also mention, based on my observation here, that each card creates an explosion, because I see every time it explodes is like a nice stack. As you can see the, I guess the yellow lines stick out. 5 of them, if I had to guess. Here's 128. Seems like we breezed through that. That's a good sign. But still got a lot of rounds to go. And yeah, it's not looking like it gives the rubber to gold effect anymore. Like, even though we are doing crap ton of damage to Rams, they still sometimes sneak through, but I still don't see a single one of them get rubber to golded. Let me just drop the Twisted Fate upgrade, just to show you. This thing affects a lot of balloons, you see? Even the very few cerams that comes out instantly gets rubber to golded, giving us extra money. Unfortunately not the case here. It would be really cool if it, you guys know the rubber to gold plus Pirate Lord combo? I showcased that recently. But basically, if you rubber to gold a balloon, a mob class balloon, it only applies to that layer, but if you hook it in immediately, you can get the extra money from all layers, because it skips all of them, if that makes sense. So I think a cool thing, even though, again, once you get a Paragon, you likely don't need the money, but I think what would have been really cool was if this applied a rubber to gold effect to mob class balloons, and also gave all the money underneath them without, you know, requiring to one-shot them. That's just my suggestion, of course. Personally, I just think that alongside maybe stunning mob class balloons would give this thing a bit more of an identity, if that makes sense. Otherwise, it would just be like, you know, another Dart Monkey Paragon that just does a lot of damage, and that's about it. 138 here, barely holding on. I don't really have much hopes for much longer than that. I'm kind of curious about the single target damage, though. It's pretty good, I think. So that said, it should... Yes, it's gonna destroy this bad. Man, it's just crazy just how good it is. How good it is against bads, but DDT is... Yeah, it's a problem. Like, watch this. That's like 10k damage per second on bads. And DDT is, yep. You beat it there, not fortified. Oh, this run's gonna be interesting. We got fortified space DDTs. I think they're more a problem than group DDTs. Although that just might be me. So got to the second last bend. Not sure if it's gonna last much longer. I'm actually kind of curious if there's any other map that would, this thing would be better on. Just like in some cases where like, Sada might be better on Resort rather than Logs, at least for the one tower challenge I did. Same with Churchill. I have a feeling maybe Straight Lines would help it, so maybe I'll take a quick dip into Resort. That being said, it seems like these guys don't have a lot of Pierce, or no, they do have a lot of Pierce, it just, the moment it hits something, I think it explodes. Is that right? At least if it hits a wall, that's what I know. Let's just watch here. Hitting a wall, hitting a wall. How about threading the needle here? Does it still explode? Yeah. It's hard to tell whether or not these guys have, like, little Pierce, or they just explode after a certain distance, because I haven't seen any cards explode off the map. So that seems to be the case. There's a limited range. If it gets far enough, it will instantly explode. Not that it makes a difference right now in this map, because it's in the center, but, like, if it went on the side, then it wouldn't be able to affect anything on the left side of the screen, no matter what. This round's looking really nasty. Yeah, here's the thing, though, yeah. It seems to be very similar to Churchill, where it seems like it's gonna struggle, but the moment you get a straightaway, like this, lots of damage comes in. So we probably still have a bit to go before this thing falls off. Like, see that? Instantly annihilated. Even if they get past that, it's still a bit of a straight line. But once it gets to the last bend, then things will probably get a little sketch. Whoa, hold on, slow down, slow down. 156, dead. Let me quickly reset the lives to 1, because I need to retry last round here. Alright, so let's see how we defend this part. It barely died last time, and I guess the straight line failed us for some reason. Yeah, we're dying. We're dying. Let's see what I can do. Probably a bit of targeting could help a little bit. Yeah, so what we should do is put it on strong the moment DTs come in. So wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. Now, on strong. And then back on first once we get to the straightaway here. No, very bad. Alright, strong. Let's change first earlier, like now. And, probably not, eh? Nope, we got it. Okay, we barely survived. Now we can't leak any more cerams. I think the next fortified DT rush, and it's over for this guy. It's all over. Let's see, this one is not fortified, but it still got really far. In fact, we died. Strange. Putting on first, and leaving it there for now. What's the problem with this? Problem is that it falls behind like this, and I die. This isn't even fortified DTs, man. This is like 3 of them and then a bunch of normal DTs. Yeah, it's still a problem. There's really not much I can do because strong would target the bads. So, last try here. If it fails, we're gonna test out Resort. Or not, okay. Don't say it's over yet. There's still fortified DTs, which probably kills me. Let's see. Or straight line say no to that. Oh my god, it's so close. If we leaked one less ram that round, which I probably could have if I microed a little bit more, we probably would have survived that. Let's try last. Target the fortified DTs first, and then back to first. There's really not much I can do here. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No, JK, it does work. That putting on last layer helped a crap ton. So 1v7 cleared. Barely. This round could spell death. Bunch of fortifieds, and yeah. Let's try last to start. Maximize damage on DTs and then back to first. Not happening, right? Oh no, it is happening, wow. Honestly, I think the logs and the explosion, like, timeout radius really benefits us, because then they explode in the corner. Again, that is assuming that it works on DTs, which I cannot verify. But honestly, it feels like it does. It's all normal type. It's just degree 1 doesn't have enough damage to handle spaced fortified DTs. Well, neither can this guy really, but it's getting further than I expected, given that, you know, the degree 1 didn't go so well. Granted, I think this is the end. Let's just try a couple more times. So last and the first seems to be really good. Watch this. So close. Anything I can do here? Anything I can do here? Nice. It does work. Probably dead here. Yeah, each round we're gonna have to try like 10 times. I would have a chance. Luckily, this round, we're clear. JK, there's more DDTs. I'm probably dead. Oh, great. I don't know if this one's possible, given that third wave is nasty. Basically, what I gotta do is put it on last when DTs come in, so we get the damage on immediately, like now. And then leave it on last until now. That's the only shot we have, and that seems to work the best. In fact, oh my god, it worked, except for one SRAM again. This is gonna drive me insane. Alright, we'll do last very early. Come on, first now. And we got one shot here. Nope. Alright, I think we're going to switch over to Resort, because this isn't happening. So here's what I'm talking about, this straightaway right here, because that straight line action looks pretty good if you ask me. Let's just see if that is actually true or not. Watch this. I think the Pierce cap is a problem. No, it's not. That was very easy. I think having the explosions explode in the middle here, despite not piercing through, is a big deal. And that probably allows us to beat this with a no micro, because that looked a lot better than what happened on logs. Clumping all the balloons together. I do see a couple of DTs getting past, like, the last bend here, but yeah. First try, no micro. Alright, we're gonna continue this on Resort then. Seems like you can squeeze a few more rounds out of this. See that? DT is not even getting through the last loop here. Okay, I lost 5 lives somewhere, somehow, or 100 lives. Ignore that. Seems like, yeah, again, no problems. So, beat this round, we get past Dark Paragon. It's just really scary. Those DTs, like, are very fast, so even if a normal one gets by, I think that's how I lost lives the first time. So, there's no more DTs, so that means easy win. Oh, JK. As I was saying, yes. Even if they get to the last bend here, there's not enough time to do damage. Gotta be careful. I think what we should do right now is put on Strong immediately. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Let's see, these DTs here. Oof, another 50 lives lost. Okay, not gonna last much longer, but you can already see Resort is clearly better than Logs for this test. And it's not even close, really, by almost 10 rounds. I think the problem is actually the DTs coming from the bats, because it spawns so late, we don't get enough damage in. See this? Dead. Anything I can do about that? Let's try first putting on Strong. Let's try to focus the bat down, and then switch to first when it's by the pop. Does that work at all? Or is it cock-locked? It's cock-locked. It's close, though. Test number 3. We're popping them, but I think we just leaked the ceramic. 1 or 2 of them, and we don't have enough lives to work with, sadly. Alright, last try here. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Again, there's not really much micro I can do. Just gotta pray to RNGs, and nope, it's gonna happen every time. So 167. He did beat the Dart Monkey Paragon at least, so that's nice. Regardless, very fun mod. Hope to see more Paragon mods of modded towers, because they're pretty interesting. Have you guys ever wondered what a Druid Paragon would look like? Well, say you know more, because this mod adds it. It's called Primordial King, the source of all Druid magic, more powerful than any other. And clocking in at a casual cost of $2 million, I expect this thing to probably beat Elite Lich, so that's what we're going to try out. Once again, shouts out to Johnny Boy for making the mod. You know, the great thing about the Druid Paragon is that when it comes out, it'll be, like, absolutely perfect bosses, because for Tier 2, you can get a lot of pops on Avatar Wrath, which is great against Lich because of life-draining reasons, and assuming you can keep this, like, between Tier 2 and Tier 3, then yeah, that's a nice head start in the pops. Now, I only have 4 stacks because I suck at placing druids in, or rather, I filled in all the remaining space with farms, so we'll just see if that's enough for now. You know, I'm not quite sure we have enough money here. I need more farms. And yeah, looking at this, I don't think I really need, yeah, 5 stacks. This is gonna beat it very easily. So, nice. And this just came to mind too, like, as for why the Druid would be so cracked, the Druid Paragon. We can do Jungler's Bounties too, to make money. Hell, let's just do Spear of the Force too to get out of the way. Yeah, this will be one of the easiest Paragons to get pops on because it just does it all, really. I guess instead of doing overclocks, I'll just get more money with Jungle's Bounties. Because yeah, the way it stands, we're definitely going to be able to afford the Paragon by tier 3. So we'll try to milk as many degrees as we can. Are we there yet? Yes, we are. Now, somebody remind me to replace my Banana Central so that I can actually Ultra Boost it without like taking buffs away. Actually, I can just do that right now. Sure, we'll relocate it over here. Give it a Monkey City. And yeah, I really can't be bothered to overclock every beer rep. So again, we're doing the Jungler's Bounty route. And right, not only that, but already having dropped these Jungler's Bounties means I don't have to spam Druids anymore to, like, when I eventually get the Paragon up. This is just so nice and easy. I love it. Like, why don't all towers just have, like, a nice money-making tower path and a nice damage path? Are they stupid? I think they are. Alright, I think I filled in every possible inch with Druids. Have I? Actually, one more. I think I should just get rid of these Popless too, while I'm already at it. More money. I also should be doing range. I forgot that this, well, does have a chance of getting you more money if it's in range of more farms. Also, they did this with snipers, but I would love it for Druids too. If you use the Spirit of Force ability, it just activates all the other Jungler's Bounties abilities for you. Because it's, I mean, they're basically like the sniper. It's just money-making abilities. Would be a nice quality of life if you ask me, and Ninja if you're watching this. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And last but not least, we'll add Druids on the Frozen Water, and that's it. If we can't get $500,000 in 5 rounds, then that's okay. We can wait a little bit longer into tier 3, but money should be there. It's looking good. Let's take a look at each individual Druid. Yeah, each one's like made like 2k. I mean, it's not a lot, but when you add up 40 of them, that's 80k, which equates to about 320k with the pops in terms of power. Again, rule of thumb is that for every 1 cash you make equals to 4 pops when we are trying to tally the amount of degrees we get, because 60.2 million is the max pops. So you need 4 million cash generated. I know 80% of you watching probably already knew that, but, you know, it's always nice to help out the other 20%. Shout out for the 20% that I didn't know. Because yeah, I realized that some of my videos that I do some things that might be hard for newer players to understand why I'm doing that. Or rather, specific stats that, of course, new players won't know. Anyways, money is there, but I am just going to play out tier 3 because Lich is too far anyways. I'm super greedy. I'm just going to squeeze out, like, a little bit extra cash here if I can. If I use to call more Jungle's Bounties. Let's just clear the map, though, or clear the beer reps. So we can have a clear vision of our lovely Druid Paragon that's about to come. Guys, the Primordial King is about to come. Phrasing. Okay, let's just go. Actually, before that, I always keep forgetting that I can just do... I have so much money, I can just do 2 extra totems, and I think we're good now. Let's get the Primordial King. Degree, I think it was 41, nice. So let's see. It spawns out some nice retextured vines. I love the purple and white theme. And unsurprisingly, it is beating tier 3 very easily. If this was real in a rank boss, then yeah, this would be the meta for sure. Actually, I think NG goes faster than that, but you know what I mean. So first off, let's test. Yes, this does give Potless stacks. All right, nice to know. Now, we gotta ask ourselves, does it... Oh, wait, why is it... There's a buff being taken away. It might be because it's a bug. Sometimes there's a bug with modded towers where it'll take away... Yeah, it's taken away the buff. That's interesting. Also, this thing made 20k in how many rounds? Well, I guess we'll see after the end of this round, but that's nice. It's... Yeah, it's got my seal of approval. It looks like it's got every Druid path incorporated. It is indeed a true 5/5 tower. There is not really much more you can ask for, really. Now, let me just see... Oh, that's actually really cool. If I drop it, you see, there's like an animation that basically is like a bunch of Reju potions, or sorry, not Reju potions, but Alch potions being thrown to show that it has a buff. That's why it's getting buff taken away, not a bug. It's just because it's coded as like an Alch buff, a permanent Alch buff. It looks like it basically has infinite buff giving capabilities. Now, I wish I could see how much damage it actually does, but yeah, we're beating balloons too easily with our Spear of the Force Bramble attack. Speaking of the Bramble attack, I wonder if... No, it cannot. It does not have the ability to, you know, one-shot ZMGs. DPS looks like about 100. Pretty low for a Paragon, not gonna lie. Yeah, it doesn't, what do you call it? Bramble Moabs. Only Cerams. I guess who cares about the Bramble attack being weak when you literally have the Thorns are about to come. Or the Superstorm. And yeah, looks like we got ourselves about 10k per round. Now, I kind of wonder, it's hard to test because I don't have anything to lose me lives, but I do wonder whether or not this thing gets faster. I sold it, but that's okay. We can always go back. But yeah, as I was saying, I noticed that this thing doesn't gain you lives. Like, the ability's gone. You only get the passive 10k now, but you don't get any lives. But that makes sense. If you were to lose lives, then that ends up, you know, getting you the extra attack speed. Sadly, there is no way to know its true power anymore because it's just too strong for its own good. The only way maybe would be if I don't know if it applies from Avatar Breath into the like the Paragon, but I could see that being the one of the few ways. Again, if you don't have a Heli. Anyways, tier 4 Elite Lich is being taken down nice and easily. I think out of all the magic Paragons I've tested so far, the modded ones, this one seems fairly balanced. Maybe the damage is a little bit overtuned, but I mean, it is Avatar Round, actually. This thing should be expected to do insane amounts of damage. Yeah, it's like Ace Paragon levels, and it's like twice the cost. That makes sense. Well, GG easy, I guess. Alright, now time for tier 5. You know, if this thing did a little bit less damage, we actually could lose lives, because, well, Lich. So hopefully this thing doesn't, like, kill it as fast, please. Give us a chance to get stronger, will ya? Nope. It's too weak, guys. The Lich Soul's too weak. You don't hear that every day, do ya? Yeah, total DPS looks like about 250,000. Yeah, I stand corrected. This will actually be even stronger than the Ace Paragon, given how this is going. Like, if it was equal degrees. All in all, should make for an easy kill. Yep. Only took 4 rounds, and Elite Lich is dead. Easy. Now, apparently, even Elite bosses couldn't even do this Paragon justice, so now we're gonna jump into deep free play to see. Also, funny looking visual bug. We still have the remnants of the normal Spit the Forest over here. But yeah, this time I also have a Heli, so we can actually lose a couple lives here and there. Actually, only get level 7 because it loses us 10 lives. Kind of curious to see what this thing will die to. Obviously, not DDTs. Pretty much has to be a bad and lacking DPS. Let's see. Nope, not even close to 140 there. Nice try, F-bad. I think we're also going to be 200. I don't think there's enough rounds of Challenge Editor here, guys, to see justice. The reason why it's not 300, by the way, that's max Challenge Editor, is because I'm on my alt count, and somehow my max round's only 250. It actually is like 2,000 because of mods, but yeah, sometimes when you play around too much in mods, you end up having things really bug out. I think at one point, the highest round dropped to like 100, so I couldn't even test over around 100. Funny how that works sometimes. Well, we can always just change the round to above 200 or 250. Also, can I take by my words what I said earlier? I don't know if this is quite balanced, if it can actually beat round 300. As degree 41 only, mind you. Round 300 is pretty much no problem. We gotta go higher. 350. Okay, finally it's fallen behind. So now would be a good time to see... well, I don't know if 10% will make a difference with the totem, because I can only use 10 at a time, but we can always try. So let's see. We can even do some Barber Cell action. So let's sell Zeli. Let's get back level 7. And then wait for totem again. I feel like a 10% damage bonus should be noticeable, right? It actually does look a little bit better, but evidently it's a little bit too late. Okay, here's a simple solution, everybody. 5% ability cooldowns. I mean, we got Challenge Editor for a reason, right? So let's just spam 10 totems, and then it will spawn 350. Assuming this does work the same as Druids, then yes, it should be max power now. Let's see if there's any difference. Yay or nay? If there is a difference, it's actually not as big as I thought, because there's a good chance we still are dead. I think Tornado can blow back in time, or no? Close. I want to say it makes a difference, but it's kind of hard to tell, actually. Well, either way, I've seen enough. I will go to 300. Let me just first test how much extra damage this Druid gets. It's a base 000, by the way. That looks like 30 damage per shot. So that's a damage buff, I think. A plus 5 damage buff, to be exact. So this thing now does 6 damage each with its thorns. Fairly nice buff. This is not to mention the extra attack speed. Oh, I was going to try to compare, but it looks like it's a global buff, right? Yeah. Put Druid anywhere on the map, and it'll throw it. Not gonna lie, it's kind of satisfying. Seeing the Druid throw like that, like, let's play around a little bit. Feel like a child again, but, I mean, it's fun. Okay, I think that's enough. Let's go for the 300 now. Alright, so let's see if we can get revenge on round 350 now. Alright, definitely looks like we can. I'm surprised the damage actually isn't much higher than I expected, because, I mean, 4,100 is a huge gap. Looks like it's enough to be around 350 though, so that's pretty much all that needs to be said. Shall we up it to 400 now? I think so. I should probably try to extend my life by putting on Strong too. There's a small chance he'll leak DDTs without the Super Storm, but I think there's enough of them that one of them will be able to catch it, right? Unfortunately, it looks like degree around 400 is just too much, even for the degree 100 here. But I mean, even with a failure, that's still doing like 3 million DPS. Nothing to scoff at there. So yeah, that's the Druid Paragon mod. I think it checks all the boxes as for what a Paragon would be. In fact, maybe a little bit too on the nose. Because seeing what they did with the Magus, Ninja Kiwi, adding like a Metamorphosis ability, that would probably be something they would want to do with future Paragons to spice it up so that it's not just a pure damage one, like, for the most part, this Druid is. Now let me know your thoughts on this down below. And once again, shouts out to the creator, Johnny Boy, for making this.